The draft is finally over. All 255 picks done, and day 3 is over as well. So we're going to break down day 3. Future episodes break down the whole draft. Mystery Irrelevant at Draft Podcast, Max Chadwick, Tate Sigworth, PJ Clark. Follow our Twitter at Irrelevant Draft. We've been pumping out content, and just because
content.
Just because it's over, we're not stopping now. So we're going to keep going with 2021 stuff, NBA stuff, anything you want draft related. Guys, I want to ask you, though, today is the last day of the draft. Tate, what were your 5 favorite picks of day 3 of the draft?
Well, fellas, I'm sad the draft's over. I love the draft. I just wish it was a never-ending draft. But
no, I don't know if I'm there. I don't know if I'm there.
I'm all there. Number 5, you guys know me. I'm nothing but a homer. Number 5, KJ Hill to the Chargers at 220.
Steal.
I think it's great value, helping Justin Herbert. I think he's a very good player, going to come in on special teams too, and just help out with the offense and special teams in that sense. Number 4, Muti to the Broncos at 181. I think him and Lloyd Cushenberry, who they took earlier, are going to be very formidable, and I think at 181 you're getting great value for Muti. Number 3, I got Tyler Johnson to the Bucks, 161. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Gronk, Ronald Jones, Keyshawn Vaughn, and Tyler Johnson to help out Tom Brady. I mean, I think we've said it before. They're going about this Brady thing correctly. Getting worse, trading up for worse. I mean, they just killed the draft, I think. Number 2, I have Sterling Hoffrichter to the Falcons at 228.
Oh, yeah, baby.
You want to talk about value? Here's value, folks. Sterling Hoffrichter is the best punter in the country, and if you can get him all the way down at 228, I mean, they won the draft. The Atlanta Falcons won the draft for getting Sterling Hoffrichter at 228. And then my favorite pick of the day is Bryce Hall to the Jets at 158. If he came out last year, Max has said it before, he would be a first-round pick. Got hurt this year. I think if he's healthy, this is an absolute steal. I mean, the Jets got a value corner at 158, and if he's hurt and he doesn't really turn out to be anything, what did they waste? Basically nothing. Yeah. I think that's a great pick as well, and those are my 5 best picks of the day.
Thank you. I appreciated that. That made that Tristan Wirfs shot feel a little bit better. Number 5 for me, Max, this is going to be number 1 on your list. Curtis Weaver, 164 to Miami. No, not number 1 for you.
We'll see. Watch.
Even more fun. Curtis Weaver, a guy that I don't know how made it out of Thursday, much less yesterday. I guess the athletic profile really wasn't going to translate. That's what everybody was thinking. Not for us, though. 4 for me, Tyler Biotish to Dallas at 146. Travis Frederick replacement right there. This is a guy before he got hurt. As a freshman, was looking like a potential first-round pick. I still think he's got that in him. I really wanted the Jets to go after him. Number 3, Tate, your boy KJ Hill at 220 to the Chargers. Just wild.
Unreal.
Absolutely unreal. Chargers kind of got beat up this draft, but I really like that one. And 2-1, same for me. Our boy Sterling Hoffrichter, friend of the pod, at 228 to Atlanta. Hell of a pick there. And my Jets, he's taking Bryce Hall, my number 1 player going into the day. Not even in the 4th, which was a disaster for the Jets, but in the 5th. Really, really impressed with what Joe Douglas pulled off there.
Yeah, listen, I love the Bryce Hall pick, but not enough. I put it at number 5, 158 to the Jets. That's a steal. Tate, you mentioned before. I mean, he was the best corner in the country in 2018. Didn't leave for the draft. He should have. Came back this year, got hurt. That's the reason why he fell all the way down to 158. I mean, that's a steal, man. I love that pick for the Jets. They need a corner, too, and Bryce Hall getting him could have gone day 2, in my opinion. They got him on day 3. That's awesome. Netani Moody, number 4, 181 of the Broncos. Another guy, injuries. He has gotten hurt. He's only played 5 games, I believe, the last 2 seasons. That's terrifying. However, if he's on the field, he could be one of the best guards in the league. I think at 181 of the Broncos, that's a steal. 3, Curtis Weaver, 164 to the Dolphins. My favorite pick, one of my favorite picks of the draft, my only top 32 player remaining, and he got picked 164 to the Dolphins in the 5th round. I mean, that's a steal in my opinion. Like PJ and you guys said, the athleticism was a concern, and he played against not great competition. However, he dominated at a level we've never seen. 34 sacks, 47.5 tackles for loss in 3 years. I mean, that's really, really good. 2, Sterling Hoffrichter, 228 to the Falcons. He's a friend of the pod. We love this guy. All right. If you come on the podcast, we're gonna love you.
Yeah, we're gonna
Sterling Hoffrichter. Sterling Hoffrichter, ride or die for him. I mean, he is punter number 1 in this draft, and he wasn't the first punter taken. What a steal by the Falcons. Number 1, the greatest pick ever in the draft, Tay Crowder, 255 to the Giants. How on earth did this guy fall to
Unbelievable.
255?
It
The
doesn't
best
make sense.
linebacker in the draft.
Didn't even hear about him before that he was picked, and I was like, oh my God, I completely forgot about him.
Yeah.
Steal the draft. Tay Crowder, come on the pod, man. We'll storm Normandy for you. So those are my 5 favorite
Mr.
picks.
Irrelevant himself. Let's
Mr.
go.
Irrelevant himself, more irrelevant than any of us. Well, probably not, honestly. Look, guys, the 5 least favorite we're not going to do because it's hard on day 3. It's hard to really hate any picks. So we're going to go to the 5 best undrafted players. PJ, who are your 5 best undrafted players?
Number 5 for me, I know he's going to be on probably both of your lists. Anthony Gordon is a guy I'm really surprised. Nate Stanley got picked. Malcolm Perry, even though he's not going to be a quarterback, got picked. Anthony Gordon from Washington State. I'm not very high on him, but stunned he didn't get picked. Steven Montez didn't get picked either, but I think Anthony Gordon, especially he signed with Seattle, I think that's a better fit. Number 4, Thad Moss to the Redskins. I just thought Thad Moss should get drafted. Had over 50 catches last year and didn't have a drop. I get the last name and I get the Joe Burrow, but not really athletic, but he's got sure hands, which I think helps. Number 3, Lamar Jackson, not the MVP, but the cornerback. Signed with the Jets already, a guy who I liked, really good athlete. I thought would at least go in the 7th round. Did not expect. I wanted the Jets to take actually with one of their 2 6th-round picks. Number 2, Austin Mack, wide receiver from The Ohio State University. Hasn't signed with the team yet the last we checked. And number 1, Hunter Bryant, tight end, Washington to the Lions. Jacob Eason's favorite target. Really stunned. I think the injuries were a little bit too much for any team.
All right. My best 5 available. I'm going to go number 5, Raekwon Williams from Michigan State, defensive tackle. My best 5 here, I made this list. I tried to only have 1 at each position. Wanted to get a defensive guy in this list. He's long, good speed, UDFA guy who's going to come in and help out in the preseason and probably make a roster. Number 4, I have Anthony Gordon. PJ just said he threw for 5,000 yards this year, 48 touchdowns at 71% completion percentage. Went to the Seahawks. I think that's a great fit for him. He can learn behind Russell Wilson. Keep in mind, we are recording this like 5-10 minutes after the draft ended. This is all coming in as we are recording, which is why PJ didn't catch that Austin Mack signed with the Giants.
Even better.
Austin Mack is my 3rd best available, and also going to the Giants is Benjamin Victor, the other Ohio State wide receiver who was available, both going to the New York G-Men. Austin Mack, so yeah, he's my 3rd best available. Good route runner, good timing. Just a little slow, and I guess his acceleration/burst speed is a little slow at times. It's whatever. Can't be picky with UDFA. Number 2, I got Trey Adams, offensive tackle. Some injury concerns, but I think he's really good in the run game for a UDFA tackle, and deserves to be on a football team most definitely. And then number 1 is Hunter Bryant, who just signed with the Lions, 52 catches last year. 825 yards. He's a good athlete, but just like Trey Adams, who is his teammate at Washington, who I have at number 2, Brian also has some injury concerns, and that's why ultimately I think he didn't get drafted. But that's my 5 available: Raekwon Williams, Anthony Gordon, Austin Mack, Trey Adams, Hunter Bryant.
Yeah, my 5, number 5, really because 3 kickers went before him. Rodrigo Blankenship. I mean, he's the best kicker in the country, man. And 3 kickers ahead of him won the Grozo Award, made all 43 of his extra points, made 86% on his field goals. Best kicker in the draft. He goes undrafted. I mean, the Colts signed him. I mean, that's a steal.
He just had too much swag.
Absolutely. Great replacement for Vinatieri, honestly. 4, Josh Love, quarterback out of San Jose State, who just signed with the Rams. I like him a lot. He's not a starter at all, but I think he's made a really, really good backup in this league. So if the Rams can get that behind Jared Goff, all for it with him and Bortles there as well. 3, J.J. Taylor, running back out of Arizona. Now, at the time of recording this, he still has not signed yet. This guy is dynamic. He's a very, very small running back, but he reminds me a lot of Tariq Cohen. And if you can get another Tariq Cohen undrafted, that's pretty awesome. You get him. So I like J.J. Taylor a lot out of Arizona. 2, Anthony Gordon, Washington State, signed with the Seahawks, like you guys said. Like him a lot, staying in the same state, which is great. I love Anthony Gordon a lot. I think he honestly, if he wasn't going to the Seahawks, he could be a guy that maybe takes over for a year or 2. I really, really like his potential. Number 1, I'm shocked at this. Hunter Bryant, tight end out of Washington, going to the Lions. That's a steal for the Lions, man, because I thought he could have been a day 2 guy. Loved him. I thought he was the 2nd best tight end in the draft behind Chase Claypool, who the Steelers got. But Hunter Bryant not being drafted at all is absolutely insane to me. So that's our 5 favorite picks, our 5 best undrafted players. That kind of wraps up, or almost wraps up. We'll do our 5 favorite classes and 5 least favorite draft classes in a later video to kind of wrap up the 2020 draft. But guys, an insane draft, a lot of weird picks and a lot of picks that we loved, a lot of picks that we hated. And I mean, it's been a lot of fun. So thank you guys all for tuning into our Twitter. Again, follow at Irrelevant Draft. We have a lot of content coming out still, even though the draft is over for 2021 NBA draft. Any draft you can think of, we'll be talking about it. So make sure you guys follow us. For PJ Clark, for Tate Sigworth, I'm Max Chadwick. Stay relevant.